this mic
Yep.
over here next to my laptop, and yeah.
Hi guys, hello everyone and welcome to tonight's show of The Fall of Disney Part 3. Because you know it's bad when you can do like 3 live streams on the fall of Disney.
Yeah, we
So,
got a lot of stuff to talk about.
oh yeah, let's talk about what happened yesterday. The fall of, well, not really the fall. So basically yesterday, Bubba, your avatar buddy. You are white nippling, just saying.
He was showing
Um,
We lost him.
around.
no, on
Uh-oh.
the YouTube end.
Ah, YouTube was showing that.
So yesterday, the CFO, Christine McCarthy, has stepped down for what she claims to be health reasons. Uh, Joker, you were talking about that behind the stage. You want to bring up some stuff?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of chatter and from large channels saying, sure, right. But this is someone who is near 70 years old and she has fought breast cancer twice. So when someone says they're leaving for medical reasons, if given her history, I tend to believe that. And I think as a community, we need to watch ourselves to trample on not trample on this because until more information comes out, because this is not something you joke about. I'm just saying.
I
No,
I
you
choose
do
to
not joke
say
about people's
nothing
health.
because I have not found her to be a very particularly pleasant individual to anyone else around her. So I will just choose to
Well,
just completely ignore it.
let's just say that she's gone and be glad she's gone, but don't speak too ill of her. Like wish her bad stuff. If you get
Okay,
me,
so
just talk.
so from her tenure at Disney, yes, she's done some bad things. She has not been. She was the one who called the emergency meeting of the board to oust Bob Chapek. That th- th- this is true. There may have been some number cooking here and there, and that would fall
Mm-hmm.
under her. That is all true. But given her history, and if she's leaving for health reasons, you do not have to like her, but do not make light of her
No,
scenario, because this affects her family, and really no one wants to see anyone suffer like this. So
no one wants to be that person. If you get me, we don't want to be
right.
that community. But yeah, but you were saying that she's like Kennedy Shield. She's like
Right. So,
Iger's
okay.
prop up
So
and that.
well, she has been a Iger loyalist for quite some time. Iger elevated her to her spot. She was trying to position herself to be his successor. That did not happen. And she's also been kind of Kathleen Kennedy's shield from Iger, because Iger and Kathy are not friends. They don't like each other, with for good reason. And she has been an a- ally, a friend, and like I said, a shield. So don't want to speculate if, when, or if, because we are not Mike Zero, who says she's out the door every week. But
Arthur Nagel,
but this is
Rooster of Doom.
but this is not a good this is not a good sign. And if the box offices for Indy 5 are anything that they are projecting it to be, I don't think she's going to be able to escape this one, especially especially since they're going to be, according to, I believe it was according to WDW Pro, they are going in. Disney and her are going into her contract renegotiations in August, which is about a year ahead of schedule.
Now, because I've been saying this for a while, and my inside sources are so reliable. If you know, you know. But one of the things I've been saying for a while is looking at the financials from Star Wars, the fan reception of Star Wars media as is, right? Of who she's bringing on to create Star Wars, the character, the actors, the shareholders themselves, who, at the end of the day, they're the big bosses, if you get me, right? They're going to be screaming, right? Because at the end of the day, Disney's a business.
Correct.
Right? So they must be saying, we want her gone.
I think there's some rumblings, and it's becoming more and more, because I think just recently the production budget for season 1 of Andor came out, and they spent $250 million to produce that show.
I thought that the green screen technology that they were hailed from The Mandalorian was meant to lower that.
What
Is that Joker? Was that per episode?
What?
Like on Andor, was that per episode?
No, the whole thing.
Okay. I thought they had lost their minds for a second.
But even that, I mean, that season's average viewership per episode was lower than Ms. Marvel on Disney+.
Because it was a horrible, depressing mess.
But see, but we're talking.
Time out. Because the thing that killed Andor the most was not that it was a slow burn, was not that it was a boring show, is Kenobi. That show did so much damage to Star Wars that Andor suffered for it.
And they did. They gave us a Bob Kenobi to match our Jake Skywalker.
But I didn't see Obi-Wan, but one of the things from what I've seen is they're trying to basically prop Leia up as like the chosen one, essentially.
Right.
But
Yes.
if you watch episode 4, right, she says, General Kenobi, you knew my father in the Clone Wars. She never stated that you knew me. Now, if I was trying to summon you, Joker, and I knew you as a kid, I'd say, Joker, you must remember me. You came to me when I was lost doing something as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's you knew my father.
Right.
They don't know each other.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, it's a massive retcon. Yeah. It's only assumed from that line that Leia only knew who Kenobi was through her father.
This is because in the original, in the contract that Lucas signed with Iger, that Lucas's films, so episodes 1 through 6, cannot be touched. They cannot be remade. So what Kathy was doing is tiptoeing around it to put just as much a little tinge in there that if you watch the OT now you have to think about wait a minute, but this happened in the Obi-Wan show.
Mm.
So
it's all the little digs they had here and there to undo shit from the Clone Wars series.
Correct.
Like, and they had homeless clones, and he was standing there. Now the thing is, one of the things that made it ridiculous is all the clones knew who all the generals, all the Jedis were, right? So when that clone looked up at him, even though he didn't serve under him, he should have gone, General Kenobi, immediately.
Right.
Like, but he did. He just
spared
a few credits.
But I mean, Star Wars is one thing, and of course we're talking about Marvel and Pixar and everything else. But when it comes to Star Wars, if you had told me as a teenager, hell, if you had told me 5 years ago that 6 years ago that Christopher Lloyd and Jack Black were going to show up in Star Wars, and then you told me afterwards that it was going to tank, bomb, and be freaking horrible, I would have laughed in your face. The fact that they have fallen so damn hard that even major draw stars cannot keep it from sinking.
I mean, well, let's be honest. They had Lizzo on it.
Nah, we're not going to even talk about Lizzo.
And like I said about that episode, all that episode told me was Lizzo has about as much acting talent as she has impulse control at a dessert but
jokes aside, if you had told me 5-6 years ago that Lizzo would bring down Star Wars so bad, I would have again laughed in your face, because there have been people in the past that could not act that were just fine in Star Wars. Yeah, they kind of got shoved off to the side, but but they were there. And so, I mean, they have downgraded a multi-billion-dollar franchise down to a multi-million-dollar franchise, but because it's still technically making money, they are hailing it as victory.
No, it's not.
No, not now. I'm talking about leading up to this point.
Okay, so I was looking through a Twitter thread between Valiant and Script Doctor.
Yeah.
Script Doctor, from his colleagues who are Hollywood writers. Some of them work inside Lucasfilm and the Disney. The price tag on just the production side of The Rise of Palpatine, $515 million.
Holy mother of God!
Production.
What?
That's
not marketing. That's not. Holy crap!
So when you add about $200 million for marketing, that film has to hit about $1.4 billion to break even.
Which they held it there until it did. Like the first.
Oh, the rise!
That money had
the
that money
rise
go to
of
the Space Horses.
The rise of Palpatine made less than half of the.
There was a lot of talk about a year or two ago where a lot of people were estimating and calculating that based on the amount of money they've spent on these films and these D+ shows versus how much they paid for Star Wars as a brand,
and those parks too.
I'm not counting the parks. I'm just talking about the entertainment thing here.
Okay.
The amount of money they spent on the movies, the 3 trilogy movies, and the D+ shows. When you factor that against what they paid, that they still haven't even finished paying the value they put down for Star Wars for Lucasfilm.
So you have 5 films and Disney Plus shows. Not counting the $1 billion each to build 2 Galaxy's Edge parks.
Now, speaking about the parks, Disney is currently in talks with Gavin Newsom.
Of course they are.
To extend and get a load of tax credits and everything like that. Basically, what it appears is that from everything I've heard, that for them bending over backwards for the pronoun brigade that Gavin Newsom supports, that they're getting the tax breaks that Florida has cut, but in California.
And you know what? It won't matter, because I know for a fact that California is so fucking busted right now financially. They're not going to be able to support that.
There's no way.
Exactly. And the is that they're going to pay their.
Bubba, you're roboting pretty bad.
So there has been talk of selling off parks. Let me dispel that right now. That's never going to happen.
No, I don't think so.
I've heard.
Because they have 6 parks. 6 parks.
Yes.
2 they own outright: Disneyland and Disney the World. Now they do have a 90% stake in Euro. They do not own Tokyo.
Nope.
What's the stake in Tokyo?
0. That is a licensing agreement with the Oriental Land Company. The Oriental Land Company owns all the land that Tokyo Disney is on.
This is going to sound weird. when I've seen the opening of different Disney like lots and things like that, right? No head of state goes to them. But when the one over in Japan happened, the imperial family and their heirs went to the park,
Right.
For the opening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like.
And now that leaves two more. That leaves Hong Kong and Shanghai. Now, on paper, Disney has a 45% stake in it. No.
That's not how it works in practicality, not in China.
Disney, the Chinese government, on a whim, can pull those parks. And Disney can't do shit about it.
Right.
Hey, Machi, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons that they're going over to California is a threat that Ron DeSantis has given. He said, "You never know. A new high security prison might go right beside him, or a low income school could." That's not going to happen.
No, that's he was being hyperbolic because basically this legal case Disney is going to lose, and they're going to lose badly.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about the ruin of Disneyland. All of this stuff is going on because Disney is scared shitless right now for January.
Yeah.
January, when Disney is contractually obligated to buy Universal's stake in Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
They have to buy it.
And Comcast is not going to let up on that.
Now, we have two different sides of the spectrum here, where Disney says that Hulu is only worth about $27 billion, which means that third would be about $9 billion. Comcast is like, excuse me, you're using old numbers. It's worth about $70 billion right now, which is around $23 billion. Disney doesn't have that. As far as what they could liquidate right now, just as like liquid cash or liquid assets.
Yeah.
Mexican Iron Man went through all of Disney's known numbers from last year. Disney has on hand $200 million.
Whoa. So Disney is broke as fuck. Now, one of the things I heard that they should sell are those lightsabers from the Galaxy's Edge. You know, I saw a guy who's a prop master, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, let me make one of those. He watched it, saw how he said, okay, I'm going to make it. He said, everyone, here's my NeoPixels, and he whacked it off someone, right? He said, I dropped it on the ground, Comic-Con stuff. Mm-hmm. He said, let me pick this up, and he literally just held his hand out, opened it up, and the thing broke. Mm-hmm. He's like, if you leave this down on the table too hard at a Comic-Con, he said, you take it out of your bag, he said, you chuck it down, he said, like we all do. He said, that's going to break. He said, you swing it around too hard. Notice that the stars put it down, forward down. They don't swing it down, they don't swing it around or anything. They put it down and then pick up another one.
Right.
It's like...
And
so they're not as durable as any other like
manufacturers. They are for show. They are not practical.
Hey there. No. And their Galaxy's Edge exclusive lightsabers, the $200 ones, the ones that you have to get like the crystal cut through the ceremony and all that crap, break within 2 seconds. Like,
and wow, another thing. The that Galactic Star Cruiser hotel. They're not even going to repurpose it for anything. It is being mothballed for a tax or write off. I mean, the only thing they can't do is knock it to the ground, because then they can't then they can't use this the structure as a write off.
Yeah.
So that thing has gotten completely mothballed. They have just let go of very high executives at Pixar. They're by the end of the summer, I think they're expecting another 2,500 management level jobs being cut.
If you're screwing that many management, then there's not going to be enough people to actually manage the company.
Well, they again, this is all because of Hulu. This is all because of this. They have to make this thing happen.
This is like an emergency scramble to try to account for money.
Right.
Yeah.
So what this is trying to do, so in the last, since 2019, you have not had one Star Wars theatrical release.
No.
Your Marvel films, you had two that have broken even. One actually turned a profit. So,
and that was controlled by Sony.
No. Doctor Strange turned a profit, a very small profit, but it did turn a profit. And Sony,
I was talking about the Spider-Man movie, which made over
Sony,
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Of which Disney, after all was said and done, got maybe $125 million from that.
Wow.
So, but as far as the Marvel Studios films, Guardians 3 is probably right around break even at this point, and Doctor Strange turned a very small profit. Everything else has tanked. The Marvels is going to tank. You've got nothing. You've got your Pixar films have all tanked. The Elementals is going to tank. So
I know, like my family have a lot of kids in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cousins and things like that. None of them are excited to see any of the Pixar, even the younger ones. I mean, the youngest one I know is excited, like, to see like some cartoon thing, but it's not Pixar.
Right. So you've got your three major studios all tanking. You've got Disney Plus, which is where all the losses get thrown into. Disney Plus is in the hole about $13 billion. So I mean, and you can only get so much revenue from ESPN Live Sports, which is really the biggest generator as far as entertainment goes that they have, the only one.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they have to do now is, like, we're getting close to the 4th of July. And after that, it's going to start heading into the, like, dead end of things, sports-wise.
Right. I mean, you've got the baseball, which always does well.
Well, American football as well.
Yes.
ESPN only has the contract for Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Thursday, I believe, is Amazon, and then Sunday is CBS or Fox, which Disney doesn't own the Fox, the sports side of Fox.
Yeah.
So, I know for the fans and everything like that. Everyone keeps talking. Like, do you think the Orville's getting renewed with everything?
I do not. I have no faith.
Probably not.
Yeah, as much as that show was good, at least the second season was, it's not gonna happen. We already know this.
And
It's
plus,
the most popular thing that they have under the Disney wheelhouse at the moment.
Actually, the one thing that they have on Disney Plus that is actually doing well is a Australian property that they acquired. That would be what's it called?
Bluey.
Yep, that's it. Yep, right there.
But I mean, and the biggest problem is, like, right now their merchandising is taking a massive hit, mainly because
nobody wants most of it.
Well, and that's
not only that.
But Hasbro has problems of their own, and they are the main supplier.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the biggest problem we've got right now, is that between Disney and Hasbro both, Marvel Legends is tanking for the first time. Like, this is really bad.
Well, Hasbro, in terms of like Hasbro's own problems with all the D&D fiasco, Wizards tanking them, and then their own production tanking them because all the slipshod stuff they were allowing to go off the assembly line. That all on top of the fact that nobody's buying Star Wars merchandise.
Yeah, the assembly line, nothing.
Is starting to tank.
Yeah, the assembly line is one thing, but the freaking crowdfunded. Tell me how the largest.
I know. Yeah. Let's don't get too much into that here. I don't want to get.
Okay, but still, the point is Disney's name is still on that, even though it was Hasbro, even though it was crowdfunded. Disney's name is still on that, and that is still a massive hit to them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Key example. I was watching Heels versus Babyface. He was looking at the Riva double-sided saber. Now it was cheaper than what he bought. He bought this. He bought this Cobra Hiss tank that it needed 5,000. It needed 5,000 units sold before it could go into production.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I wanted one of those, but I couldn't get in on it.
So the threshold to go to production was higher, and the Hiss cost more, and that thing was
it skyrocketed. It was gone instantly.
Days. Yeah. 2 days. The Riva lightsaber didn't get it. It took the entire window and didn't get half.
Nope.
I'm going to show you guys something. This sold out in my country, and it took about 3 months to get more back in. It was the last thing, the Darksaber.
Nice.
It was the last thing of Star Wars I ever heard doing that. The Darksaber.
And that was before they fucked it up in the main.
Yeah, and these helmets as well.
Yeah.
I mean, how weird is it going to be when you've got Disney films? You got The Little Mermaid, you got Elementals, you got Indiana Jones, you're going to have the Marvels, you got all this Disney content. You know what is going to probably outdo all of them? Barbie.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the Disney movies,
Mario
we can't
just did
escape.
it.
Yeah, Mario already did it.
But we can't escape.
It already did.
Yeah. 1 second now. But we can't escape the fact that Tanaka Haruta, another actor from Marvel, like from that they cast, has been accused of some hard crimes again.
Along with the Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Disney may want to say no more to no more.
Yeah.
And a lot of the CGI budget for a lot of the movies.
Well, that was because of Victoria Alonso.
Yeah. All went to Black Panther.
Oh yeah. and the marketing from Lightyear and Strange World got shanked and sent to that as well, which basically made that film between production and marketing, it made it dollar for dollar, $250 per $250 per $250
Yeah, Matt, they can.
$250 production, $250 million marketing, $500 million price tag that they needed to hit $1 billion to break even. Didn't do it.
No. And the Little Mermaid has currently made like 650 to 850 million.
Whoa! Let me look at that really quick.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, but I'll tell you,
a bad thing.
Disney is it's a really bad thing, but Disney is really missing Ike Perlmutter right now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Okay,
he wasn't perfect, but he was a penny pincher, and he knew how to allot money, and they are losing their shirts because they got rid of him.
Okay, Little Mermaid, as of yesterday, 427 million.
Yes, that's it.
427
million worldwide.
Oh, it hasn't even cleared half of its production cost yet.
No,
That's rough.
This film will not get to $600 million. Won't do it.
I have to show you something. I saw this. I'm going to upload a picture of what they fucking did. Upload. Now, can you guys tell me what color is Halle Berry?
Black. Oh,
Black.
are you talking the...
Halle Berry or
China,
Halle?
she's blue.
Bailey.
That's
Bailey.
That photo.
Yeah.
Photo was
That's
the
that same
tiny
shit
photo.
happens with every
Oh, look.
release in China.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they just go ahead.
That is what they did. That is what they did to Finn in the Force Awakens poster. They made him smaller and put him at the very bottom. And for the original Black Panther poster,
They CGI'd it.
he had his mask on.
Now, as well, Disney took control of Chadwick Boseman's Twitter account after he passed away and started shilling out Black Panther on it.
Oh Lord,
Fucking.
that's just tacky.
That's bullshit, is what that is.
Yeah. Now, what else they've done is they got into the Spider-Verse. I know it's only, but Marvel's still got a bit of a sick, but they got that banned. Yeah, they got that banned in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and it may get banned in China because they've put a trans flag on it.
And Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but I'm specifically talking about the in the middle ones. Right. Now, in America, a lot of people are not going to see it because they do have the BLM logo in there and the Protect Trans Kids logo.
Right.
Why I haven't seen it.
Now, okay, so the good thing with that is the word of mouth has it's gonna start its downward trend, but it did very well its first. It did very well its first 2 weeks. It broke even already, so anything from here on out is profit.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, from what I heard, apart from them two things, the movie's not really propaganda-wise. Like, you get me? Compared to what we have now. So,
right.
If you can look past those, they're just stickers. So if you can look past them, it's not egregious. But what is egregious is in the battle with Ron DeSantis.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
This is my well house
But
now.
in the battle with Ron DeSantis.
Little house, whatever.
They're going to be talking. They decided to do a Pride night, right?
Okay, so
but the thing is, they left.
May I say something really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I used to work at Disneyland when I went.
I'm so sorry.
We forgive
Well,
you.
I was going through college then, and
He was young. He needed the money.
And I was
Were
there.
you Bell?
No.
You guys let him finish.
So I was there during the I was there during the Eisner years.
Okay.
And I was there during that big animated film boom that they had. So very profitable time. Very good time. So
The Disney Renaissance.
Yeah, that's like a golden age.
right. So what they would do on Fridays, they would close the park at 7 o'clock. They would reopen at 9, and it would generally be like a private event from like 9 till 1. So there was an LGBT, well, just LG at that time, group that every year would take one of those nights. So this is not uncommon for Disney to do something like this. But I think this is like the first openly all day type.
Yeah,
event.
like it used to be put into the after night, so no kids could go to it. But now it's there, and they not only that, they've changed the color of the cast members or castmates.
Cast
members.
Thank you. Costumes to all have rainbows on it. They also had a man in a dress. He wasn't transgender. He was just a gay man in a dress.
Boutique.
Yeah, and a lot of parents were complaining about that as well. Like they're overcompensating.
You know what's the best way to actually complain? Quit going to the fucking park.
But the thing is, they didn't know. I'm just saying they didn't know until they got there that morning that he was there. A lot of parents did turn away, but they had already paid. That's the thing.
I'm convinced there are a lot of delusional motherfuckers going to these damn parks. They ain't going to change.
The thing is, for a lot of the people like that, like the person we used to be friends with, have those family multi-year passes or whatever. You know,
they pass them down.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you spend those monies, like a lot of people are like, I need to get my money's worth out of this. I've spent a lot of money, and my neighbor, she's got 2 twins. They're like 7 or whatever, and she's bringing them to Disneyland in Paris, and I'm like, look, why are you bringing them there? Because she knows all this stuff. She's not woke or anything like that. And she turned around and said, I don't care. It's just Donald Duck. And I just like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's that mentality. It's just Mickey Mouse.
Well, I mean, but bear in mind, though, for the better part of 50 years, people planned their entire family, like it was everybody's family dream to go to Disney World or Disneyland. Yeah. It was like they would plan entire vacations around it. Kids that are dying through Make-A-Wish, that was like their number one thing. They wanted to go to Disney World, which I think was paid for by Disney. I don't really think that that's where the kids all wanted to go. But the point is that we were led to believe that Disney was the peak pinnacle of all of the greatest things you could ever imagine. And so now to see where it's at is really frightening.
It is. Like, honestly, everyone, Maxis, you're the youngest one here, basically, right?
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Try to balance it out.
That's not a wine bottle. That is
absolutely a wine bottle.
That looks like a Riesling, okay?
So, Max, you or your friends, like you or your friends, any of them planning on going to Disney or even mentioning wanting to go to Disney?
Does my father count?
Are you friends with your dad?
Because he's trying to plan that trip.
Oh, that's not your fault. You're held hostage.
Yeah. I mean,
well, but I'm. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry,
anybody know why? I can hardly wait to go to Disney.
Well,
my fiance's brother. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
This convention I was at, I had met someone that actually was a cast member there recently and stuff, and like all the shit that I should not get close to because of like this like health hazards that are in their fucking kitchens.
Oh yeah.
I got all the warnings, and I love that person for that.
I had a good friend of mine. She's actually the ones that helped do some of the concept designs for my book. She used to work at Disney, and I got a lot of horror stories from her about those fucking parks.
Oh yeah, like
Y'all
what they
already
don't
heard
tell.
what my opinion is.
Yeah, but we can't.
I know.
say
I'm
that.
saying.
But one of the things that like they don't tell a lot of people have died in the park, and there's also.
Well, let me give you just a couple of examples of what my friend was complaining about. Well, she worked there. She said they started doing this dumb thing where they called it the I think it was like the Food and Wine Festival or some shit like that. It was a thing where they were allowing people to drink on the premises.
Yeah.
And she's like, every time they did this, the trashiest, crappiest people would show up expressly for that event, and they would get on the rides and vomit on purpose.
Yeah, that's about right.
They would screw in the bathrooms. They would leave their children unattended and
That's if they made
off.
it to the bathrooms.
If they made it to the bathroom, they would wander off and leave their kids God knows where.
That's probably
And the park security would find kids wandering around or in strollers with nobody there. They had people screwing around trying to kill themselves in the rides by trying to unsecure the freaking things that hold you in there. It was like just a litany of dumb shit, and the parks basically wouldn't stop doing it, number one, until like way later, and they were like permitted. They weren't like really doing anything to correct this behavior because they were either those season pass holders or they had money and they didn't want to chase them away. So they were being allowed to get away with all this dumb shit.
Like there's that secret club that like they have in there, and I heard like one person saying like how bad quality and things like that have gone. They said like there was a couple of different European royals who went into the clubhouse, and they didn't really eat there. They kind of went off and ate somewhere else.
Well, because they're going to let them know what should and shouldn't be eaten.
Yeah. But the thing is, that place has a higher food quality than like the rest of the park, and if they give like the royals the like in the state heads of state and things like that, the higher food, and they don't eat there, even at the Disneyland's higher food, that is a very bad sign.
Well, that's the thing. There's a guy that I've known like I used to babysit this dude, and he got engaged at Disney World. Like they planned their whole vacation, and he proposed to her, and they just recently got married. But he has heard me griping about this stuff. Like he knows all of this stuff, and he did not even hesitate. Still went there.
Like one of our ex-friend, I'm not going to say his name, but if you know, you know. Our ex-friend, he was anti-woke as us, right? But his whole dream was to go there. If you get me.
Right.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, far of it, like when the Disney stuff was early going on, we're talking a few years back.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, oh yeah, we go to the car park, we do this, and Far's like, what the? You're going to get yourself thrown out, and we just realized that you can't have a rational discussion with people like him.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. The private chat's getting funny, so.
Oh God.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. Jesus, guys. But like my thing that I'm looking at and everything, right, is how much can like Disney actually stand to lose now? To basically
nothing.
Not much, if any.
This is do or die. I mean, now going back to what this is all stemming from, this purchase of Hulu.
Yes.
This could be very bad because if they don't have the capital, they're going to have to leverage this with stock. And Disney stock is so low right now, the amount of shares to make that happen, you could potentially see people from Comcast on the board of Disney.
Yeah. And if Comcast comes on, that might be good for Disney, for us.
Well,
You get me?
No, Comcast already has too much power. So does Disney, but Comcast is already running most of everything we see.
well,
If you
Universal.
watch television anyway.
Well, Universal, though, right now, they have been eating Disney's lunch, as far as their animated films go, and when they open Epic Universe, TikTok, time's up.
Oh, it's even worse than that. They've announced they've announced the biggest Star Wars slate recently.
It-
None of that has dates. But and another thing, this oh sorry. Go ahead.
they have tentative dates because they can't set anything because of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Everything is on hold. They have pushed a for one, 2 Star Wars films in mid and late 2026, and then a third in 2027. No way, no
No.
way, that's not happening. They have Marvel films extended out to 2031.
Well, and that's a huge mistake because they're banking on Deadpool making money regardless, and
They
they're
delayed Avatar's sequel, and that actually made some money.
That Avatar sequel is actually
I
good.
feel like that was forced.
It's not good, but
well,
it's
no, but
made
I
money.
feel like they there was some kind of weird hinky hoodoo going on in the background. That is the first movie in history to ever have a terrible opening and then make more money its third week than its first week. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that does happen. The Mario had a 258% increase from week 2 over week 1.
Well, but it opened up in other countries.
Yeah.
Okay. Avatar, Disney didn't get a lot from that. Yes, it got put under. Yes, it got put under. What was it? It got put under Searchlight, which is technically owned by Disney, but that's a Fox property, so it was owned by Fox and Cameron's production studio, Lightstorm. So Cameron's got a lot more at stake in this than Disney does. So that's going to be that's going to be those films going forward. They're not going to be released under Disney Studios. The biggest mistake Iger did was buying Fox for $71.4 billion.
But another thing that no one is talking about in connection to Disney is the Star Wars games. Now, there's a new big one coming out, the MMO. Not the MMO,
the Outlaws?
Yeah, everyone's describing it as No Man's Sky in Star Wars. And I'm like, if you have to describe your game as being another game that had a tremendously bad launch, that is not a good thing. Plus, everyone's been asking, they're like, oh, we want an MMO thing, and it's like, they're giving us a Star Wars game that is not based on Force users. No. And all the game players I know who want Star Wars games are asking for Force users. But
I mean,
if I was still interested in Star Wars games, I wouldn't mind not having everything focused on the Jedi, but I don't have any interest in this game.
Now there was a game that, and I'm not a gamer by any stretch. I could really give a fuck about gaming.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, that Rogue Rogue Squadron game was actually really good.
It was good, and they fucked up their PR by insulting players and calling them a bunch of ists and phones.
Yeah, that
and
game
it revealed that there was a bunch of LGBT nonsense wrapped up on the rebel side of the game.
Okay. Yeah, but the thing, there's a couple of lesbian aliens and things like that. But the thing is, the game is really huge among VR players. It is amazing in VR.
Yeah, but VR is bullshit on its own, so that's not much of a market.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though. Like, it's a fledgling market, but
Yeah, it's another niche market. That's not really helping them much.
the game, if you look at it and you do play the game, you can see that the game is created for VR. Like, the way a character turns their head, and like the dials and everything like that. But I'm just looking, and I'm there, and I'm like, if I'm Disney, right, and I control Lucasfilm, I wouldn't have one game like Outlaws out there.
Uh-oh.
I would have 2 or 3. I'd have an Old Republic. I'd have I'd have a Force user game, maybe an Order 66 game or something like that, like Fall of Jet or something, right? All done like Outlaw. That way you've got different paths for people to go. And you also have different things that like people will spend their money on.
If you'll allow me,
Always.
check the private chat.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead, man. We're going to wrap it up anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
So hold on. We're going to let Joker go, and then we'll let Bubba talk, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So, thank you guys. Thank you, Revan, again for having me here.
Always, man.
Lovely guests, you lovely ladies here. So I just released on my the merch store
It's pinned.
it's pinned. Okay, cool. Shit. I occasionally I do fundraising for the Stuttering Foundation of America, and I have a rare design out that is for a limited time only. It is available to. It became available today, and it is through the 15th of next month. 100% of the proceeds are going to the Stuttering Foundation. So, and definitely check out everyone's channels here. Check out mine as well. I am 22 away from 500. So, cool.
Fantastic.
Thanks again, folks. Ladies, we'll talk later.
Meow,
right,
sir, meow.
Kitties and hyenas. What a combination.
Oh, Lord mercy. You're not a cat. I don't do interspecies.
All right,
But anyway, to finish the Disney talk, though, like from my
Bubba,
end.
you were saying.
Yeah.
Toodles.
Later, Joker.
Doodles.
But to finish the Disney talk from my end, we can talk about Star Wars, we can talk about Pixar, we can talk about Marvel all day long till we're blue in the face. But LucasArts overall has taken a massive hit. The whole Willow fiasco, and now. And now they've got an Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones 5. The franchise is doomed. Drops, in a month or two. Anyway, the point is that they are so up the creek, and we could blame politics, and that has a lot to do with it. But it's not just politics. The marketing has been crap.
Shit in writing.
Yeah, they've overspent. They are not. Over across the board. And like I said, even their business partners, the ones producing their toys, everything else, they have taken some massive hits. And no company, no matter how big, can take this many hits all at once and not look like a dying Legend of Zelda boss. But anyway, it has been great. I love talking to you guys. And this is one of my favorite topics. But
Yes.
anyway, you can find me on Twitter. I am Geek Hero Boa, and you guys have a good night.
Yeah. Jet Sparks, you still here, buddy? So guys, go and check out Jet Sparks' check out Jet Sparks' YouTube channel. He's a good guy. He does games. He just finished Mass Effect. I don't know why he's got going, but go check him out. Farv, you want to shell out your stuff?
Yeah, okay. Number one, I wrote a book. We've talked about it. I have a thing on my channel about it. And actually, conveniently, I have a copy of it right here. So this is what we're looking at here. This is the first of my books. I am working on the sequel already. It's up on Amazon, not just in hardcover. It's also an ebook if you like to read it on your phone or whatever. I have a
you think I
channel.
can read?
It's not all about you. I have a gaming channel called Farvithian Guard. My brother and I work on that channel. We do edited videos and streams. The streams are not as prevalent as the edited videos, but anyway. We are at 469 subscribers. My brother, who is a man who anybody who knows him knows does not particularly like the Harry Potter franchise, has said that if we hit 500, he will force himself to play Hogwarts Legacy on the channel.
Nice.
He made that declaration earlier.
Please do.
It is a fantastic game.
So I'm just putting that out there because he mentioned
Yeah.
it. If we actually hit 500, he's like, okay, because my wife has the game. So he can't get away from it if it actually happens.
Yeah. Hey, Jet Spark, we already shelled you out there, buddy.
Is he
Oh,
still
thank
there?
you. Sorry.
Oh, there he is.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
yeah,
man. We've already talked about it. Don't worry, bud, at all. There's no worries. We've already shelled you out. Max, is there anything you want to say to the YouTube or anything like that?
Don't have enough.
She's so cute.
No.
But Jen, now that you're back, you want to shield yourself or tell what you got coming up?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, I actually don't really have much anything else. In fact, I actually put out a video on my channel a few days ago, and well, I'm kind of unfortunate. I think I'm just gonna have to go on. I'm really just putting my channel on hiatus. But I mean, another person who, again, man's a good man, but he has a lot of other things he's trying to focus on. But same thing with me a little bit, and also just I got it's other things that's both external, a few external things, and just more personal. I say to anyone who's watching my channel, go through my back catalog and just share out my videos to whoever you can.
Will do, of course.
I mean,
yeah.
I'll watch them, of course, to enjoy them.
Mm-hmm. So, Farview, is that everything you wanted to shell out?
Just keep an eye out because we are going to have some new stuff coming up. My brother and I are getting back into River City Girls 2. I should have an episode coming up on that again within the next couple of days. We're still working through Dead Island. I'm still going to be popping onto Asterigos here and there. And Final Fantasy 16 comes out on the 22nd. I've already got that ordered, so we're going to be doing that as soon as we actually can get our copy and get it installed.
Awesome balls.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to thank everyone for watching in the past and in the future and in the present. And I'm going to say, everyone have a fantastic night. Thank you all for coming. And Joker, who was here, thank you all for coming as well. I'd like to thank the chat and everyone like that. So, good night all, and God bless.